Sound advice to keep your body and mind in perfect harmony. You're tuned in to the Dr. Stephen Show. Now, here is Dr. Stephen Eisenberg.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Dr. Stephen Show. I am thrilled to welcome Arianna Huffington. She is just one of my favorite people in the world. She's written a brand new book, The Sleep Revolution. She is the co-founder and editor-in-chief of this little teeny website you may have heard of, the Huffington Post. The same one that won the 2012 Pulitzer Prize. That one. Yes, we are blessed to have her with us today. She's on the Time Magazine's most 100 incredible people in the world, Forbes' most powerful women in the world, and we have her today. And we are going to go deep into the sleep revolution. It's not just a book, everybody. It is a movement. And we are here with what I want to call the goddess of sleep. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's so good to be with you.
Can I just tell you, this is my new Bible. This is my new Bible. I love the book. I've read it 2 times already. Actually listened to it once and read it once. And it is a movement I think every human being should be a part of. We're all connected by sleep, right?
We are all connected by sleep. And for some reason, ever since the Industrial Revolution, we've devalued and scorned it. And we've acted as though we can do away with it. And all the modern science, that's why this is such an exciting time, full of hope, because we have all the new science that proves conclusively that sleep is not negotiable.
It is not negotiable.
That if we're going to show up fully present in our lives, we need to get enough sleep, and we'll discuss how much enough sleep is.
Yes,
but
it's
bottom
not more
line,
sleep, it's enough sleep.
That's all we need, enough sleep. In fact, Dr. Ronenberg, who is one of the top German sleep scientists, says you can overeat, but you cannot oversleep, unless you are narcoleptic or severely depressed.
Well, if you end up sleeping for 12 hours, you're probably making up some kind of sleep deficit.
Exactly, but the vast majority of us need between 7 and 9 hours. Now, if you have a genetic mutation that makes you what scientists call a short sleeper, you may just do fabulously on 4, but it's a genetic mutation. You can't train yourself to need less sleep. And so when you see executives or entrepreneurs or anybody just bragging that they only get 4 hours sleep, not good, not good for their health, not good for their decision making, definitely not good for their happiness and their mood.
Yes, can we do something together right now, Arianna?
Go to sleep?
Can we?
No.
Yes. Well, look, can I just say that I got an amazing 8 hours for this?
Fantastic.
Amazing 8
Me
hours.
too.
So I feel so present with you right now because I listened to the advice in the book. But I want to do something with you right now.
Yes.
I want to put to rest this idea of I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Absolutely.
I want to put that to rest.
Let's put that to rest forevermore. Okay, deal?
Deal.
Here we have a doctor
Deal.
and a victim of sleep deprivation.
Oh
because
my-
remember, I collapsed from exhaustion
2007.
and sleep deprivation, April 2007, hit my head on my desk on the way down, broke my cheekbone. So I came to all these realizations the hard way. And one of the reasons I'm such a passionate sleep evangelist now is because I want people to make small changes in their lives in a way that they will prioritize sleep before something bad happens.
Yes.
And in a way, I feel kind of blessed that I had that wake-up call because it could have been so much worse. You know, you have executive after executive collapsing on their treadmill with a massive heart attack or dying. And we had so many examples in 2015. So we know the casualties are proliferating.
Yes, and the science is finally catching up to, 1,000 years of ancient wisdom.
Yes.
I believe in the book you talk about the wisdom of your own mother.
I
And
know.
she was the one who first instilled this beautiful idea that sleep was important. She didn't need a medical degree. She had the wisdom of her own, beautiful nature. And
Yes,
she
my
instilled
mother.
it.
And even though we were living in a one-bedroom apartment, my parents had separated, so it was my mother, my sister, and I. She was fierce about making sure if I was going to be studying, I would be studying in the kitchen, so I wouldn't disturb my younger sister who was already asleep. And she just made us recognize that getting enough sleep would lead to better grades, and we wouldn't be getting calls as often. She would talk like that. But then I went to college in England. I came to New York, and the culture in which I was living was so driven by this collective delusion that in order to achieve, in order to succeed, in order to get things done, I had to sacrifice sleep, that I bought into that. And so I became one of those people trying to survive on 4 to 5 or 6 hours. And it's a slippery slope, and it has a cumulative effect on you.
I've been on the slope, big time. I pulled all-nighters in medical school. The whole medical profession needs a wake-up call, like you have in the first chapter, wake-up call. We're in a crisis. Doctors are in a crisis.
And the result is an enormous amount of what you call adverse effects.
Yeah, the side effects of living as a doctor.
Yeah, the side effects on your life and on the life or death of your patients, because you're making decisions which can have a huge impact on the life of somebody who's in your care.
Yes, and finally now the residency programs are putting work limits.
Right.
And because back in the day when I was a resident, I would go all night and then the whole next day, and then I would drive back in Philadelphia, and I would just hit the pillow and just sleep for hours and hours and wake up in the middle of the night and say, I was doing the two sleeps. The two sleeps.
Segmented sleep. Yeah.
I was doing it. The history of sleep, you talk about that there used to be two sleeps. Back in the day when there wasn't electrical light, people would go to sleep, then they would wake up in the middle of the night, they'd be up for a few hours, maybe do a little meditation, and then they would go for a second sleep. Well, that's how I was living my life.
But the interesting thing about the historical segmented sleep was that people did different things there. They wouldn't go back to work, or the equivalent of going to our smartphones to answer emails today. They would read prayers. They would recount their dreams to a loved one. They would have sort of more spiritual conversations. So if we wake up in the middle of the night now, the absolutely worst thing we can do is go to our smartphone. That's why in the second part of the book, which is all about the tools and techniques of how to get enough
The way forward.
and the way forward, an adequate sleep, the key, the first kind of rule that I beseech everybody to follow is to pick a time before you're going to turn off the light and turn off all your devices and gently escort them out of your bedroom.
Yes, yes. If only we could we could just plug ourselves in like a smartphone and recharge in a nice dark room, but it's not that easy. Some people have problems falling asleep. Most people, I'll say, are addicted to their cell phones.
Yes.
Internet addiction, addicted to cell phones. The blue light, hello?
Stimulates our brain.
And decreases melatonin. Yeah, but how about this new thing that Apple put on, the night shift?
Right. I think it's a good
And I
half
love
measure.
F-Lux.
F-Lux.
Love it.
And night shift are helpful, but there is no alternative to taking your phone out of your bedroom.
What is the absolute, when should they turn them off?
So-
Let's put down some rules.
Let's-
When is the time to turn them off? This is what the goddess of sleep says, everybody, and you listen to her.
So I actually believe in micro steps. I believe in people making small changes to our habits
Yep.
that become cumulative. And also we begin to see the impact it has, and then our new self, our fully present, joyful self, becomes like a magnet that draws us to make more changes. But don't start by trying to do everything at once. So start with 5 minutes before you're going to turn off the light. 5 minutes. Turn off all your devices and gently escort them out of your bedroom. I now do a 30-minute transition to sleep. The deeper your transition, the more absolute will be the sort of winding down of your brain. And the more wound down your brain is, the less likely it is to wake you up with all your incompletions and your to-do lists and your anxieties.
Yes.
So my transition, beyond taking off my smartphone, my laptop, and my iPad outside my room, is having a hot bath
Yes.
with Epsom salts and
Candles.
flickering candles. It's again what we were saying earlier, rekindling the romance of sleep. Candles.
Yes.
And then putting on something that clearly says, I'm going to sleep. I used to sleep in my gym clothes. Now I love silk lingerie. Or even if I have a T-shirt when I'm traveling, it's not the same T-shirt I'm going to go to the gym.
Yes. Yes.
And in bed, just read physical books.
Yes. And how do you light the books? Like one of those little book lights?
I just kind of have a very light, very sort of soft light on my nightstand.
Yes.
And what I love is that, you know how you are reading and you begin to doze off and then you can let the phone drop on the book,
Yes.
drop on the floor.
Yes.
And I would actually consider it a personal victory. If you are reading The Sleep Revolution, it puts you to sleep.
Well, it doesn't, because it's so intriguing. And they say that sleep deprivation is the new smoking.
Yes.
And I tell my patients who smoke, and I'm an oncologist, as you know, and I tell my patients, if you can smoke one less cigarette than you did yesterday, that's something. So you're right. It's not about going cold turkey.
No.
It's those little micro changes. One less cigarette, 5 minutes earlier.
Exactly. And also, when you wake up in the morning, even if you take 1 minute to breathe, to set your intention for the day, to remember what you're grateful for before you go to your phone and your emails and your texts, just 1 minute.
Yes.
It's centering, and it means that you can approach your day from a more centered place.
Yes, I had a very similar experience in my life to when you went down in 2007. Our medical practice was going through a huge breakup, and I was worried and I was anxious and I wasn't sleeping, and I developed a real illness. I developed colitis in my own body, and it wasn't until I started meditating and sleeping better that it completely went away.
It's amazing because you experienced what modern science tells us, which is that 75% of all our healthcare problems and healthcare costs are because of stress-related preventable diseases. 75%. And at the root of stress and the buildup of stress is sleep deprivation, because when we are exhausted, we don't process stress as well. I mean, we know anecdotally how much more irritable we are, how much more moody we are. I mean, I now do what it takes for me to get enough sleep, even when I'm traveling on book tour, because I can't stand my sleep-deprived self. I don't like. I don't like who I am.
I end up raising my voice to my children, and I'm like, you're a horrible dad. What are you doing? And then my wife says, no, you're just overtired.
Yes.
She's a saint.
And you know, you see that with your children, right? You know that when they're being cranky, you know, you say, oh, they didn't get their nap. Right? Parents know that.
Right.
So why don't we also realize the same is true of us?
Speaking of which, let's talk about the power of the nap.
Yes.
Because I've tried to be George Costanza in my real life. I have looked at my desk, under the area of my desk, and I'm like, okay, why can't I sleep under my desk? And let's go. I mean, I have thought about it. And and then I think about the George Costanza episode, and you reference it in the book, and which is why I know you're funny. You like Seinfeld. And so I have literally looked at under my desk and said, can I put a little mattress under there? So I'm guilty as charged. But the nap, you shouldn't have to turn into George, right?
No.
You should have a nap room.
Absolutely. At the Huffington Post, we have 2 nap rooms, and we ask, all our employees to feel free to go have a nap in the middle of the afternoon if they're exhausted. And this is so much better than having a 5th cup of coffee or a 3rd donut or whatever it is that we gravitate towards to get that energy boost in the middle of the afternoon.
Around 3 p.m.
Yes.
It's like, sugar. Yeah, I want it. Coffee. But no coffee after 2.
Yes, I love my coffee in the morning.
Yes, as do I. I'm a newbie.
Yeah,
I just got into it.
I'm totally into it. So it's not a problem. It's just when caffeine is still in your body, when you are trying to sleep, that it doesn't work, because you want as much as possible to create sort of optimum conditions for sleep. So, as you know, what I say in the book is that a good day starts the night before.
Yes, that's in the Manifesto.
And a good night starts in the morning. So everything is like a virtuous or a vicious cycle.
Virtuous or vicious? Let's be virtuous.
And have fun.
Let's choose virtuosity.
But here's what is important. That when we say let's be virtuous, sometimes people hear it, I'm not going to have as much fun.
Or like moral, yeah.
Yes, I can't stay up that late. And I am absolutely promising you, you're going to have more fun. Because how can you have fun when you're exhausted?
You can't be present.
No, you're just going through the motions of having fun.
Yes.
You're not really having fun, because having fun means being really present and really joyful and really loving your life and what you're doing. And these qualities are not present when you're exhausted. We've all experienced it. Yeah. We just need to give each other permission to actually do what we know would improve every aspect of our lives.
Give ourselves permission to be well rested.
Exactly.
Give ourselves permission. Now, here's one thing. You don't see people Googling, why do I feel so refreshed? Oh, Arianna, I can't tell you. I got too much sleep last night. I'm just so refreshed. You don't hear that, right? The #1 Googled term is, why am I so tired?
No, the #1 autocomplete, if you go type, why am I, is why am I so tired? And the second most popular, why am I always tired?
Always tired. And that just tells you, everyone in my office is, every patient I see, how are you? Tired. I'm so fatigued, I'm so tired. And yes, there's chemo, and yes, there's a lot of things with oncology, but they're not sleeping. Right. And we're giving them sleeping pills, which is, I know it's a no-no, but they're begging, and it's very difficult in oncology, or in all of medicine. But I agree with you 100%. We need to get people off sleeping pills, teach them meditation, teach them ways they can go to sleep on their own.
Absolutely, and there are so many alternative ways. I mean, I have been through hundreds of meditations. Even if somebody is not meditating, there are meditations you can listen to that help you wind down and be able to go to sleep naturally. Yes. And I have included 12 in an appendix to the book, and I promise you, there is going to be one among the 12 that you're never going to hear to the end, because it will put you to sleep.
Yes.
You may dislike 11 of them, but hey, try them. Yeah. And one of them is actually one that my sister and I did, and she is reading it, and it's available on the ariannahuffington.com site for the book, and anybody can download it and just play it. And I promise you, there are natural ways to go to sleep. And if you have an extreme case of insomnia, there is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is incredibly efficient and effective.
Very effective. It's very good for patients going through medical illness, feeling down, feeling depressed. It's a great point. And I know you're a meditator for many years, as am I. I happen to do TM, which is one of the techniques, but there's not one better than the other. And I find it very helpful to help wind down, especially when you're feeling like you can't go to sleep. So tell me about a little bit about your meditation. Do you do it every day?
Yes, I do. I do it before I get out of bed, because then I really get it done.
Yep.
And for me, it's also something that I can do during the day, on planes. And even if you do like just 10 minutes, it's just a reminder that underneath all our comings and goings, our successes and our failures, you know, there is a deeper dimension to our lives, and we can tap into it and show up from that place, which is wiser and more joyful and more compassionate, and all the things that we want more of in our lives.
Yeah, you know, you did a course on Oprah.com, I think it was part of Thrive.
Yes.
And you had Kobe Bryant doing the sleep portion. And people do not realize that sleep is the #1 performance-enhancing drug.
And it's legal.
It's legal.
And it has no side effects.
Right, other than playing better. Andre Iguodala. You know, Andre Iguodala, Coffee Talk. Let's talk Andre Iguodala.
Exactly.
Better stats, discuss.
Better stats, amazing. I have all the stats, you know, including a reduction in his fouls by 45%, an improvement in his points by 29%, just stunning.
2015
Stunning.
MVP, taking a nap with his MVP trophy. That's very telling, everyone, because he was the guy. He was the guy. And you, my friend, you are the woman, the myth, the legend behind this movement. It's more than a book. I want everyone who's watching to read the book, but it's a movement. We're bringing it to colleges.
Yes, we're going to 100 colleges, and the goal here is to raise the awareness of millennials about the dangers of sleep deprivation, because they have so much misinformation. And they really believe that pulling an all-nighter will improve their grades, when all the science shows that pulling an all-nighter means that you have the cognitive equivalent of being drunk.
But Arianna, can I just drink a Red Bull?
Oh,
I'm a millennial,
Bull.
man. I can just drink a Red Bull and, you know, no-dose, and, you know, I can get away with 3 hours, Arianna.
Well,
Isn't that what they say?
Why don't you tell them how emergency room visits from energy drinks have doubled?
Yeah, yeah. Tachycardia, people think they're having heart attacks, anxiety, stress reactions, all because of of all these stimulants.
Exactly, that
Yeah.
we keep pouring into our bodies. When there's something that is free and available to us, and the only thing that stops us from indulging in it is FOMO, fear of missing out, when in fact we're missing out on our lives.
Yeah, it's like a millennial term, FOMO.
Because we are sleepwalking through life.
It's almost as if we're walking the Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That we've become so addicted to our phones, our devices. We're not sleeping. We're just, and so I say we need some CPR to jolt ourselves back into the living. Compassion, presence, and resilience. And sleep is the #1 part of resilience. And I'll also say it's part of presence, because when you sleep, you can be present with someone.
Exactly. And you know, it's ironic because we've convinced people, whether they do it or not, that exercise and nutrition are important. But the third leg of the stool is sleep. It's
You are what you eat, but you are
you're
what you
also
sleep.
what you sleep.
Right, isn't that what you say?
Absolutely.
You are what you eat, and that was a whole huge thing in nutrition and diet. And our friend JJ Virgin's a big nutrition guru. But I'll tell you, if you are what you sleep, my wife would tell you that I'm annoying, loud, obnoxious. Can you please come up here for 1 second? Ladies and gentlemen, this is my wife. Now, thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being on the show. Now, if you are what you eat, and you are what you sleep, how you sleep,
Yes.
then I'm obnoxious, annoying, loud, kicking. I'm keeping her up. I've been banished.
So
and
that's-
as I should be.
He's been
So what
banished.
happens? Does he snore?
Yes.
Oh
he
my God,
snores.
sleep apnea, hello.
Yes, but
101.
but he hasn't gotten checked out yet, so I keep saying.
I'm a doctor. I don't need a doctor.
Exactly. You don't need a doctor.
Right? I don't need a doctor. I'm a doctor.
So what have you done? Have you moved him to a
No,
second
I
bedroom?
seriously have. I seriously
Yes.
have. And it's so sad
It's in the
because
book.
he'll come and try and sleep, and I'm like, don't get too comfortable, honey.
Here's last
You're
night.
cutting
Here's
out.
last night. Honey, can I sleep in the room tonight?
You can come and snuggle.
We have a big day tomorrow. You can snuggle,
Bye-bye.
and then the first sign of you're out.
Because then he gets
Yes.
upset if he's obviously already falling
Exactly.
asleep and
then-
he's up.
So I think you're amazing. You're a pioneer in setting some new ground rules.
It's true,
Because-
but I support it because
I
love that.
I wake myself up. It's so annoying.
Well, I think what
Myself.
happens is that, I mean, first of all, you need to be checked out for if you have sleep apnea, because now there's so much you can do about it. The CPAPs are getting easier and more portable.
3D printing to make it right on your own
Yeah,
nose.
it's going to be amazing
Future,
soon.
check that
So there's absolutely no reason not to take care of that. But also, I think it's important to help couples understand that sleeping apart, when you choose to sleep apart, doesn't mean you don't love each other. It doesn't mean you don't have sex. You can have sex, snuggle, and then go to your separate bedrooms. But otherwise, relationships deteriorate because you wake up exhausted.
Right.
You are resenting each other. You are cranky.
Right.
Is that good for the relationship? Absolutely not.
No, there's a whole section in the book that sleeping in the same bed started out as a sort of as a financial thing, or
Yes.
because,
People
right?
didn't have a second bedroom.
They didn't have a second bedroom, so the whole family would sleep in bed together.
And it isn't just snoring or kicking. It's also wanting a different temperature.
Yes.
I mean, Andre Iguodala, you mentioned him,
Yes. And you spoke to his
says
wife.
that for him, yes, the ideal temperature is 67 degrees.
Yes.
And his wife, Christina, has become like the guardian of the right temperature, the blackout curtains, and no TV in the bedroom.
Yes, we don't.
Because
That's one thing we don't have.
Exactly, because she knows that that's when he's going to be at his best. So she's supporting whatever are the rituals that will allow him to get a full 8-hour sleep and just have a fabulous day on the court. And in a way, you're sort of supporting each other to be able to get enough restorative sleep and show up in your lives in the morning fully recharged. And life is completely different. Life is truly transforming your life one night at a time is real.
Yes.
And that's what I kind of promise everybody who reads the book, that they will be able to bring about small transformational changes. And it's not difficult because our body craves it. So we're basically giving our body and our brain precisely what it wants.
Yeah, and I love that a good night's sleep could actually you could actually have more sex than if you're sleep deprived.
Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
actually good for your sex life to sleep.
and also it's great for your weight. Like if you want to lose weight or maintain your weight, being sleep deprived in order to go to the gym is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because you're then going to crave carbs and sugars and all the things that actually put on weight because of the way your hormones change.
Yes, with leptin and ghrelin and I'm guilty as charged again, guru of sleep. I the worst thing I do when I stay up late and watch TV is like, honey, can I give me the Snyder's of
Pretzels.
Hanover, and you know those pretzels. So, yeah, it's just mindless eating.
Exactly.
So I think when you sleep, it's a boon to mindfulness.
It's really, if you think of it, our life consists of these two threads. One takes us out into the world to achieve, to get things done, and the other takes us back into ourselves to refuel. And we've gotten this wrong. You know, it's all been about going out there, achieving, and that's not sustainable. And that's why we have so many millions of cases of burnout.
Yeah. Yep. Now, I want to end by reviewing the Sleep Revolution Manifesto. Now, this is a PDF that you can download.
Absolutely.
And it comes with the book. Number 1, sleep is a fundamental and non-negotiable human need. We've gone over that. Non-negotiable, and it connects all of us. Okay? Number 2, sleep allows us to see the world with fresh eyes and a reinvigorated spirit. Yep.
Which is wonderful.
It's just beautiful. We may be what we eat, but also, to be sure, we are how we sleep. Annoying, and I'm loud and obnoxious, but we're dealing with that.
No,
I
you're
called the
not.
pulmonologist.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Will you let me know
I
what
did.
happens?
I will let you know.
And Julie, if he doesn't, you email me, okay? I have
Okay,
to
I
be
will, I
his
promise.
personal sleep coach.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's my Bible. You know that now. A good day starts with the night before. We talked about that. We will treat ourselves as well as we treat our smartphones, making sure we sleep until fully recharged. We treat these things like gold. So let's start treating ourselves with that golden rule. Get your sleep. Unplug. Don't be digitally distracted. So, we love these things. Do they love us back?
Well,
Good
they
title
love
of the book.
I think it's
Do
okay.
our iPhones love us back?
I think they love us back, but only when we are fully recharged.
I love it. I want to plug myself in and recharge. Okay, number 7. The bedroom is for sleep, not for work. Oh my Lord, everyone doing all their emails right in the bed, sleeping next to their laptops and...
Not good. For sleep and for sex.
Yep. And then be kicked out.
No, just wear your machine and then you stay.
Well, we'll see.
Very good.
We'll see,
love
Dr.
that.
Tressman. We'll see. We will usher our smartphones out of the bedroom when we go to bed. Yep, we talked about that. Plug them in downstairs. Put them in a
Yes.
whole separate room.
If you want an alarm, although when you get enough sleep, you won't be needing an alarm because you'll wake up naturally. But if you want an alarm, get one of those $35 vintage-looking alarm clocks from Pottery Barn.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I never use an alarm. We will not drive if we are drowsy. This is huge. And I want to start Doctors Against Drowsy Driving.
I love
Doctors Against Dad.
That's fabulous.
Doctors
Let's do
Against
it.
Drowsy Driving, because it's like you're drunk.
It is, and 8,000 people died last year because of drowsy driving.
And that's an important piece to get to the millennials too, because they're all partying and, so don't drive drowsy and don't drive drunk. Great pajamas are a great investment. I love this one. I love this one. I will tell you, she has lovely pajamas, and I'm like T-shirt and my tighty whities, which she hates.
Why not get great pajamas?
I have to get some.
I gave
Tidy
everybody.
whities.
I gave everybody at the Huffington Post pajamas for Christmas.
Oh.
That's great.
Oh, well, I'm going to expect something in the mail. No, I'm
We're
kidding.
getting
I'm
them.
kidding.
You're getting a pair of pajamas.
I would love some HuffPost
Yes.
pajamas.
You're
But
getting-
I have to say, I prefer when you wear the big flannel ones, because then I don't want to be frisky. So then I can sleep. Anyway, that's another topic altogether. Number 11, we will choose sleep over busy work.
Yes, because so much of what we do at night is busy work, and often somehow we feel compelled to answer every email and finish everything, and we are exhausted, so we often overeat in order to power through and finish everything. And why not go to sleep and do it in the morning?
Yes, and we get that feeling like we're very tired and we're going to go to sleep. Then we
Yes.
power through, and then it goes away. Last one for the Sleep Revolution Manifesto, and then we will say goodbye to the Queen of Sleep. When we walk through the door of our bedroom, we will leave the day with all of its problems and unfinished business behind. The Sleep Revolution Manifesto. Read it, live it, learn it, love it. I want to thank the Queen of Sleep, Arianna Huffington, for being here on the Dr. Stephen Show today. This has been an amazing episode. I love you. Thank you for being
so
here.
much. I love you guys. Thank you, and keep me posted on
I will.
everything.
I will. I'm gonna read it again.
It's the Bible.
And thank you for being here. And we'll see you all next week on the Dr. Stephen Show. Bye, everyone.